As you experience deeper insights into the truth of who you are, sometimes your behavior can seem to get worse. It's a funny thing. Sometimes the behavior we think it's going to suddenly become very angelic and everything. And sometimes it seems to get worse even. One friend, she also was saying that I've always been a good person. She said that I've always been such a good person, very thoughtful, very polite and so on. But Mooji, I am not. She said the other day she came out from the petrol station, she was driving out, and she came out, a truck was coming down and he was kind of blocking, like he was, and so she took him on in her little car. She was trying to intimidate him, like, you want to fight? Okay. But I would not have normally done that. I'm too polite, I would not do that. And now I seem to also have less patience for people, like I would be responding much more kindly and so on. But now I find this behavior coming out, and I'm not a nice person. That's it. You're not a person at all, actually. You see, some reaction is taking place. Yeah. Maybe for so long you have been such kind and so, disciplined and correct and everything. And now something has flowered or burst open, and perhaps the opposite behavior seems to be. So you're not the bad one, and you're not the good one.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
But if you're going to be one, better be the good one. but better, now you're able, perhaps for the first time, to see these behaviors which we have identified with, that is what I am, and to see that, whose behaviors are they exactly? You can begin to look. To whom do these behaviors belong, Some people have yet to ask this question with any sort of seriousness or authenticity. They don't know, why would I ask a question? Of course it's me. And because there is a conviction that it is them, it is me, I am the one who is behaving like this, then the question is not sufficiently open when it's asked to really go more deeply into it. But some are able to look and say, really, who is behaving like that? Because the reflex is to say, I did this. But very often I'm finding that this I who says I did this often does things I don't want to do. Have you noticed? Sometimes you're doing things you don't want to do. Sometimes we seem to behave in ways that even hurt the people you love. But you don't want to do it, but something is like some force is doing it. Can you take full responsibility also? And what is it that is causing this behavior, you see? It seems as though there's a life that is being lived out, like a role that is being played, and the consciousness has adopted this role and invented a false personality to take delivery as the actor or the doer of actions and the thinker of thoughts and so on. If you don't understand immediately, it's okay. We'll catch up around the corner about that. But sometimes you can begin to sense, somehow people are trying to work out, you see. I want to stop my mind from behaving like this. I want to stop this. I want to stay always as the consciousness, you see. Or I want to get rid of this bad behavior and, just be better at it. I said, is that what your goal is, to get rid of the bad one and to be the good one? How long you can be good for? There are no perfect personalities. Where to go? You are discovering that there is a space, an intelligence in front of which both extremes of behavior are being played out, and there is no real need to identify with one or the other one. This power, this capacity, this space has always been with us, but we have not been conscious of it as an option. I'm calling it an option for the moment. We'll come to see if even that is true. But we seem to, once we identify as the person, which is based upon the first belief, I am the body, and then whatever conditioning arose for this body amounts to who I take myself to be. Once that belief seems very fixed, factual, we rarely question it, you see. And if you don't question it, you will take responsibility for the consequences, for the seeming actions that you make, even whether they're involuntarily or voluntary. You will seem to be, there's no one else to take responsibility for it. So we have to own up, yes, I did do it. Although there's always something inside that feels, did I? I half did it. I didn't completely do it. Give me only half the sentence. You are discovering that there is an intelligence, a space from where both extremes are perceived. In fact, everything that comes through the senses, all the information through the senses and the mind, they must report to that central intelligence in you. It is you, or that consciousness, that perceive them. Is it the doer of them, of the actions? Is it deliberately creating that play? And if it is not, who is doing it? Who is making your life, doing your life? Do you have total freedom and power to determine your existence, to be the architect of your life, and to fulfill your projections? Do you? Because if you were, or if you did have that freedom, everybody would be living the life that they wish to live. Perhaps nobody would be poor, nobody would be sick, everybody would be rich, everybody would be beautiful according to our norm, our projections of what a beautiful person is. Everybody would be with the perfect partner, according to the mind's projections about it. But would it be true? Would you be happy? There's a life that is unfolding spontaneously without your interference. If you allow that life to reveal itself, you will somehow come to see that you are not living life, that you are life. And that it seems to always retain a natural harmony. It produces many seeming surprises that otherwise the mind would otherwise have said, no, don't. But they turn out to be beautiful. They turn out to be instrumental to a wiser life. You'll meet people who your mind would have prevented you from meeting, who turn out to be the best friends you could have made. But no one gives it a chance. Everyone is forcing a projection, a dream, a kind of fantasy, an interpretation onto life and saying, well, this is my life. In spite of the mind's sometimes resistance and hesitation, a wisdom, along with a certain courage, pushed through the habitual resistance, you see, the habitual shyness or hesitation, and come forward and says, okay, let's see what happens, you see.